أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين قال وعن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا أنفقت المرأة من طعام بيتها غير مفسدة كان لها أجرها بما أنفقت ولزوجها أجره بما اكتسب وللخازن مثل ذلك ولا ينقص بعضهم أجر بعض شيئا. So Aisha radiallahu anha reported the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if the woman in the household gives in charity from the food of her household without being excessive, then Allah will give her the reward for what she spent, and for husband for what he has acquired and gained in the first place, and for the one who was storing the food, meaning the servant, and no one would be diminished their reward, I think. And the scholar said, usually the wife shouldn't give in charity without the permission of her husband, so that is the rule. But if she knows that he approves it, he doesn't have a problem with that, then she can do that. But if she knows that he doesn't allow that and doesn't permit that, then she has to consent him for that. Is that clear?
Unless it's her money.
Yes. So this is why, if it's her money, there's a hadith coming, inshallah, in a second. If it's her own money, she can do it the way she wants. But if it's her husband, then she has to get his permission. He has to consent for that. Unless it is known, it can be تلميحا لا تصريحا, it could be known from his condition. If someone is stingy and nickels and dimes for everything, you know that he's not going to allow it. Why did you do that, and why did you do it, right? But if he's a person who likes a charity and she knows that he doesn't mind it, then it is okay to do that. يعرف بالحال. وعن أبي سعيد رضي الله عنه قال جاءت زينب امرأة بن مسعود فقالت يا رسول الله إنك أمرت اليوم بالصدقة وكان عندي حلي لي فأردت أن أتصدق به فزعم ابن مسعود أنه وولده أحق من تصدقت به عليهم فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم صدق ابن مسعود زوجك وولدك أحق من تصدقت به عليهم. It's a winning for Ibn Mas'ud. So Abu Sa'id said, Zainab, the wife of Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiyallahu anhuma, came and she told the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, today you asked women to give in charity. Ya ma'ashar al-nisa'i tasaddaqna, right? And then I have some jewelry and I wanted to give it in charity. And Ibn Mas'ud claims that he and his children are the most deserving and worthy of this sadaqah. So the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, said, he's right. Your husband and your children are the most deserving of your sadaqah. And that is confirmation of the hadith we recited last week, that when the person came and he said, I have a dinar, he said, يعني تصدق به على نفسك. Then I have another one. Then he said, it's your wife, your household, your servant, and after that, يعني whoever he wants to give it to. So, for the woman, same thing applies. Even the woman can give her zakat to her husband, but the husband cannot give his zakat to his wife, right? Because it's his responsibility to spend on her. So that goes to show you that preserving the family and maintaining the need of the family and fulfilling the financial duties takes the precedence over anything else in Islam. طيب قال وعن ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما يزال الرجل يسأل الناس حتى يأتي يوم القيامة ليس في وجهه مزعة لحم. نسأل الله العافية. So Ibn Umar also reported the Prophet ﷺ said, a person will keep asking people for money, and that's when he's not in need, basically, just to acquire more. And the Prophet ﷺ said, it's as if each time he asks, a piece of the flesh of his face falls down. That's out of humility. And in the day of judgment, he would come, and there is no flesh on his face. It has fallen off completely. And so what is the threshold for a person who's asking beyond their need? So he said, if he has enough food for yawmin wa layla, so that's sufficient. So beyond that, he shouldn't be asking people, and begging people and soliciting their money. So that's also preserving the wealth of other people, and not asking to, as we will have in the hadith inshallah, not asking just to hoard and acquire more and more.
Sure. So not think beyond one day and night. Because the mindset now is to think about a year, 2 years and stuff. So just one day and night is enough. If he has it, it shouldn't be.
A day at a time. When you give in zakah, when you give someone in zakah, you should give him enough basically so they don't have to worry about that. And the fuqaha, some people said 6 months, some people said years, some people said for life. So, but the one who comes and every day they want something, and if they have enough provision for one day, they say 2 meals basically, then they shouldn't be just asking for more.
But most of the need comes from bigger things, not food, rent.
Right. So, like he said, and this is why with the zakah you have to make them sufficient basically to fulfill their needs, meet all the expenses that they incur. And when we talk about how you spend the zakah, so that will come inshallah. وعن أبي هريرة قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من سأل الناس أموالهم تكثرا فإنما يسأل جمرا فليستقل أو ليستكثر. So a person who's asking people to give him money, not because of his need, just because he wants more basically. This is what you see a lot of people, right? It just takes more, even beyond their needs. So the Prophet ﷺ said it's as if he's taking burning charcoal, so he can take as much as he wants. It's gonna burn him basically. وعن الزبير بن العوام رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لأن يأخذ أحدكم حبله فيأتي بحزمة الحطب على ظهره فيبيعها فيكف الله بها وجهه خير له من أن يسأل الناس أعطوه أو منعوه. So the Prophet ﷺ said, if a person, and the Prophet is describing the details on how fatiguing and demanding this job is, even if he has to take a rope and then he goes and collects pieces of wood and then carry it on his back, see how demanding and labor intensive this work is. It's better than asking people for money, whether they give him or they're not. Because there is no person that should be unemployed in Islam, basically. Any job is a good job, and no one should be jobless, and just rely on people's money, on social security, right? Unless they need it. So this is the spirit of Islam. Everyone has to contribute with their effort. If they can't, that's something different, obviously. And the last hadith in the chapter, وعن سموة بن جندب قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم المسألة كد يكد بها الرجل وجهه إلا أن يسأل الرجل سلطانا أو في أمر لا بد منه. So Samurah bin Jundub said, the Prophet ﷺ said that asking for money, asking people for money, it's like as if a bird burning his face. Each time you do it, it's a scar actually in your face. Unless the person asks the people in charge, the government basically, or in something that is necessary. And you shouldn't ask, like we mentioned, even the government, unless you had to, unless there is a need and that cannot be met by your own work. So the spirit of Islam is like what we mentioned last time, اليد العليا خير من اليد السفلى. The one that earns the money and gives it better than the one who keeps asking and taking. So to be a giving, to be contributing, and not to be dependent on others. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله والحمد لله رب العالمين.
So this chapter is between Zakat al-Fitr and the
So what Ibn Hajar rahimahullah started by talking about Zakat al-Mal, the assets, and we talked about the Zakat al-Fitr and then the voluntary Sadaqah. And now he will start the chapter by Qismatu Sadaqat, how you distribute the Sadaqah, whether it is Zakah or general Sadaqah, the recipients basically of the Sadaqah. Next chapter, inshallah.